just a few things that I've come across, and yeah, they just don't add up. Just before I go any further, quick disclaimer, my name's Dawn. You found Lounge Bar Crime. Everything you hear in this video is from my own research, it's my opinion, and it's for entertainment purposes only. Okay, right, let's get into it. I've just done a couple of quick notes here. Couple of questions that have always been on our minds about this case that keeps going round and coming back in circles. And some things tend to pop up and then they go away. And sometimes I just think, should they go away? Right. Okay, so we've always had this question, haven't we, about who paid Magbanua's attorney fees. And yeah, we kind of supposed that it was the Adelsons. And obviously there's a few reasons for that, basically because that makes sense. Now I know a lot of other things have come up with regards who could have paid her attorney fees. One was her brother. He's being called as a witness, by the way, so they can ask that question, can't they? And the thing is, he would have to prove, and yeah, he's got a good job, but I don't think he's got them kind of attorney fee jobs work. So I think he can be discounted. And then there was the sister-in-law that got done for embezzlement. Sorry, I'm full of a cold. Embezzlement. I'm sorry if you hear me sniffling. Just ignore it. Now, I don't think she embezzled a company to pass the money over to Magbanua for her lawyer fees at all, because it would have been gone in an instant. So I don't think she did. And then of course there was the pension remuneration from Katie's mother on passing, I think. That is why that money came about, and it's been said that that would not be nowhere near enough neither. So now they're the ones that keep coming, keep coming around, apart from obviously the Adelsons. Now if you remember, Hankinson was the judge at the time, and it wasn't allowed to be brought up, but what he'd said was that he was satisfied that there was no payment going directly from the Adelsons to Katherine Magbanua's attorneys, which was Cowes and De Coast. So directly, no, not going directly, but we all know what Don is like for paying for things via. She's not stupid. Her ticket from Vietnam, she never paid for that. This is why it was such a joke when she said on the stand about we just wanted to get away, we just wanted to clear our head. Well, so why don't you just book a ticket and book a return? And even if you didn't book a return, why did you pay for your tickets via somebody else? I believe they was bought by a third party. Now I don't know if that was an agency, because that would have been a bit of a waste of time, or if it was a friend. I'm sorry, it slipped my mind. But it wasn't. She never paid for them direct. So we know Donna is that's how she operates, let's say. Do you know, honestly, she's more of a gangster than any of them. Seriously. Just a quick one here as well. You know about that holiday as well. You know when she said, I'm going to get back to Magbanua in a minute. You know when she said on the stand, more or less like it was her husband's idea. I thought, you sly bee. She will she won't drop Wendi, but she doesn't care who she sends down that river to make answerable. Not that we care about Harvey either, but she said, you know, like a couple of times, no, it was Harvey's idea. And I thought, what is it? The more the merrier. The more that's involved, the less they can pin you down. Or the more things that you can put on other people, then the less that, obviously, that can go on you, and you're just going to walk. Do you know what I mean? It like, no, my husband. And I thought, wow, honest to God. And even, you know, like chatting all day with Charlie about, you know, his conviction and all the rest of it. And then she does one and like leaves him there to rot. She's made of worse stuff, I think, than most criminals. But anyway, I was going to say the hitman, but no, because, you know, they did go there and do that, so all as bad as each other, let's put it that way. But anyway, getting back to Magbanua, so there was that with the attorney fees. And then, she wouldn't do remember she got offered a deal and she wouldn't take that deal, right? And now, I mentioned it the other week, I said she's going to offer crumbs. That was before, and she did, she offered crumbs. But my thoughts of her offering crumbs and the real reason, well, not the real reason, the reason I think now are different. I thought at the time she was going to offer crumbs because she couldn't hold her hands up to say, yeah, I was involved and blah, 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 and spill the lot of it and go home to her kids. So that didn't make sense to me. Your kid's father is in Nick, is going to do life. What's worse? Well, both the kids' parents being in Nick doing life is worse than just him. So why wouldn't you accept a deal and go home to your kids? Most normal people don't do what she's done, but any normal mother would do anything to get home to the kids, and she didn't. That was more of a reason for us to think the Adelsons are paying her legal fees. Obviously, she can't take that deal. Don't forget, she didn't put in for that deal. Anybody in her position, right, who had nothing to do with the Adelsons at that time, afterward, at that stage, they would have just grabbed a deal and run and thought, to the rest of yous, my kid's dad's inside for life. I can't go inside. I'm going to try and get a plea deal. But for some reason, it kept coming back from her attorneys that, you know, she wasn't doing a plea deal. And in the end, it did take Georgia Kappelman to go to her to do this plea deal. And she decided, didn't she, to do this proffer. And even then, she wasn't giving much up. So, as I said, she didn't actually go to them. They went to her. So it's like she decided that, right, I think she decided at the time, right, more or less, I'll play at it. I'll still sit on the fence and just see if I can get anything from it. Because as we've said, Detective Sanford walked out frustrated because she was giving nothing up. She wanted to be in both sides of the camp. And then I saw this, which was Cowers doing an interview. Just have a look at this.
Appeal, right. So that's why I asked the court to appoint the public defender's office for purposes of appeal, because she's indigent for costs. So I'm gonna reach out to Jessica Yeri, who is a public defender here. She's fantastic. And
so Cowers says that she's talking about Katherine Magbanua having a different lawyer because she's indigent now, which means that you know, nobody's paying her lawyer fees now, so she's, you know, she's got to go like the poor man's way. I hadn't picked up on that before. So this is all around the time that she starts doing, well, after the proffer, and she starts giving stuff away on the stand. She did give a few things away, not a lot. But here's my point. I think the reason why she didn't give much away at that proffer was because I think she thought more was going to come out about her. I think she was more involved than we've had her down for. And the reason I think that is, so, do you remember there was that person that had spoken to Sigfredo Garcia in Nick? He shared a cell with him or something, and he'd said that Garcia had disclosed like quite a bit of information with regards the case, and all the information that this McNair, I think it was McNair, something like that, was coming out with, was all to do with Katherine Magbanua and Donna. Now, it sounded like more to do with them two than with Charlie. I'm not going to say them with Wendi, because we all know this would not have happened without Wendy's say-so. They wouldn't have done this without Wendy's say-so. Again, I'll just remind you that that text that she sent to Wendi, and then Wendi replied saying, you know, it is not my fault, like what happened in court with Charlie's case. I am not responsible for what happened. Donna still didn't say that, you know, in her response to that, well, none of us are we? She never said that. She said like, well, I never said that you was. But why didn't she say, you would say, if you didn't have nothing to do, well, none of us are. Well, I'm not. You know, you'd be defensive to that. And she wasn't. But the more that you put these pieces together, it's obviously Charlie was the big man, you know, the Dumbo, you know, like as though he's putting it all together sort of thing. And yeah, he did pass the money around and it was stapled. So it was, I'm not saying that he didn't put some of the lolly in, of course he did. But I think a lot of the arrangements seem to have been made between Donna and Magbanua, I think. And that is why on Katherine Magbanua's proffer that she was very reluctant with a lot of things. She was trying to skate round her little part in it with Donna. She dropped Donna in bits of it and said, yeah, Donna had said this, that Dan was coming back to haunt us and things like that. But she was trying to skirt round it. So she was just like the one that just was taking the message back to Sigfredo and the money, and then that was it. But I think if you kind of read between the lines here, with this what this McNair said, it was all Magbanua and Don. Well, he kept calling her Don, not Donna, which is funny because it's very close, isn't it? But it was Magbanua, Don, Magbanua, Don, Magbanua, Don. So I think, yeah, I think Charlie brought Magbanua to Donna, and that was all that. And I think her meeting then with Wendi, I mean, they did ask her, did she speak directly with Wendi about this? And she said no, because she's still trying to keep herself looking clean as much as she can. You can't do that. I'm sorry, but you can't ball in shit and come out smelling of roses. You just can't. So, you know, she's putting one foot in and taking it out and trying to wipe it as though, do you know what I mean? she'd be better off, or would have been better off, obviously, of just spilling the lot. But she's trying to play both sides here and that. But obviously, she's now not got any of these high-paying lawyers. Now, isn't that a coincidence? She's not got these lawyers, this third party. If there is a third party going via Donna, is not paying for her lawyers anymore. So that all seems to have come to a standstill straight after she did that proffer and decided to go. She's not really gone much against the Adelsons, but enough. So I just think that's a bit of a coincidence as well. So this is what I mean with the thumbnail, that Katherine Magbanua, it's her turn to shine. I still think that she should put a proper deal forward and go to the prosecution and say, listen, I can make this so much easier for you, but I need to get out and see my kids. I mean, does she not realise that? I mean, it's not ideal, but even if she did 30 years, she'd get out and see her grandkids. Well, she's done a few years now already. She'd get out and see her grandkids. For him to take away the sentence that she has been given and go back to her and say, well, okay, well, we'll make it 25 years. She would still be out for it, and she'd still be a reasonably fit person, as long as she kept herself fit inside, and youngish enough, enough to see her kids as adults and see her grandkids, which would probably be adults then as well. But she could do all them things, but I think she's still got in her head what they've fed her, because it's ludicrous, absolutely ludicrous, to think that those kids' dad is in Nick. She should be doing everything to get out, and if she's not, why not? I think originally when the Adelsons, we think it was the Adelsons, was paying her attorney, I think she still thought, I think she tried to play a bit of the Wendi game on the stand. I don't remember, it was 14 years ago. It's 10 years ago. Well, at the time she was saying it's 8 years ago, it's 10 years ago. She was giving all that out. It's so many years, I can't remember back then. And it's as though she was following Wendi. What she didn't understand is Wendi wasn't on trial at the time. So you can't just copy what Wendi was doing, because it's not going to go down for her like that when she is on trial. But I think she saw what Wendi was doing, and I think she thought, well, so long as I keep ducking and diving and they can't pin me down on anything, she thought she was going to walk. For some reason, she just thought she was going to walk. And when she didn't walk, why did she not say then straight away, I've got to get out for my kids because I've got no dad? Neither. I'm going to go and offer a plea deal. She waited for them, because she was doing an appeal. And she waited for Georgia Kappelman. Well, she didn't wait for Georgia Kappelman. She just didn't bother. And then Georgia Kappelman went to her, and then she throws us peanuts. She throws us peanuts because, again, she's more involved than she's let on. And she's not protected Donna because she's not exactly said anything with regards to Donna. It's as though she's dropped Charlie a little bit because Charlie was going down anyway. But by then they hadn't got Donna or Wendi. So in her head, I think she could sort of like do the argument with them that, well, Charlie was going down anyway. So all I did was confirm that. I didn't leave yous two in it. So, probably not realising at the time that they was going to pull every penny on her. So, yeah. So for Tara Kawaz to say that outside the court to say that, you know, she's well, I think in the States they call it indigent. I might be pronouncing that wrong, like I pronounce Wendi wrong, or different. Let's call it different. It's not wrong. Yeah, I think that was. I just thought that was a bit odd. That everything should be pulled around about the same time. Yeah, it just doesn't add up. And like I said, I think now, looking, you know, hindsight's a wonderful thing, but looking back now, that didn't make sense. Her not doing a plea deal, and when she did agree to it, she threw him crumbs, when she should have been spilling like no tomorrow. So she was still hoping that the money would still be coming in for her attorney. So it's funny how all that wrapped up at that time when she was doing that proffer, and that's why even more so I think that they was paying via somebody for her attorneys. And I think that the organisers of this crime was more Donna and Magbanua on behalf of Wendi, and Charlie. Well, we've always had Magbanua as like the go-between. I think Charlie was more the go-between, and I think it was Donna and Magbanua, and that's why Magbanua went to the beach and met Wendi, because Donna probably arranged that with Charlie. Going, you know, you give you a chance to buy her a drink and thank her for what she's going to do for you, or just meet her or whatever. Because why would Wendi want to go and meet Magbanua? Why would she be like that on the beach with her? They're not two of a kind. They're not they're not from the same social circles. Wendi would never sit with Magbanua. No. Millionaires for Wendi. She wouldn't go to the beach. Even though Charlie was there, she wouldn't do that. So, yeah. It was all on Wendi's say-so, but I think, yeah, and the only way now, I mean, it is down to the prosecution, we know. Now, I do know about this 8,000 email. So, I just hope that isn't the prosecution messing up, that have withheld it. I am hoping that it is something that they've gone into another email and they've only just cracked it open and they've found it. I don't know all the answers to that yet, but and believe it or not, I don't often get much chance to watch a lot of the other YouTubers. Some of them do, but I did catch on with Judah AA Legal Focus the other night on her live, and she had a guest on, I think she was called Katie, and I think she's a lawyer, or ex-lawyer, but I think she's a lawyer, and they were discussing the possibilities where these 8,000 might have come from. Go and have a look at that live. If I remember, I'll link it below. But it was really, really interesting, the thoughts and the possibilities of where that could have come from. So I'm not going to go into what they said. You'll have to go and watch their video because it was really interesting. Yeah, so that's it, my friends, tonight. You can tell I've got a cold and I'm not poorly, but I'm poorly sick, can't you? Because I'm not making any jokes. Oh God, I sound like a man when I'm laughing. Dead deep. Yeah, I haven't really got anything else to add. It's just those things all came together, and I was thinking, just a minute. This, I think it's called McNair, or was it Mr. Nair? Something like that. Anyway, he's mentioning Don quite a lot. This is all Magbanua and Don. There wasn't much about Charlie. So, and Garcia was passing that information on. So he knows that. I mean, he could, excuse me. Oh no. he could open the case wide open, and get Magbanua out of there. But in saying that, it's not for him to speak and for them to let Magbanua go, because if he's speaking like that, all he's doing is confirming that she was a co-conspirator in this murder. It's up to Magbanua to do that deal for herself, to get herself. She won't get herself out of there still for many, many years. Sorry, I keep going to sneeze. She's not going to get herself out of there for many, many years, but she might get a good few years off. That'll make a difference. And for her to sit there and not think into that is... Sorry about that, I just had to have like a sneezing fit. And I'm sorry, my eyes are watering. Can I just interrupt myself just 1 minute? You know what I'm going to say? You see that tidgy like button down there? You just help the channel out massively if you just smack it. And you see that subscribe button? You should be subscribed. If you're not, you should be subscribed. I'm not always like this. Normally I'm funny. I've got a cold tonight. But just subscribe. I won't have a cold next time. Bye. Sorry, yeah. It's up to Magbanua to get herself out of that mess. And even if she only gets a few years off, those few years are going to mean everything to her. She needs to put a foot forward, and she needs to spill everything, and she needs to get off that fence and just give up everything that she can, because otherwise I don't know what they offered her anyway for that. I don't know if it's already been dealt with, and because we don't know, do we? Seems to be a lot of things going on now with this case where there's a lot of stuff has been redacted, or it's closed, it's not open. Donna wants Everett off the case. That's what you get with somebody that's so entitled. Like, I don't want him because he's looking at me sideways. I want a different judge. I want a judge that's going to smile at me. Yeah, nobody's going to smile at you. You're a murderer. So nobody's going to smile at you. Right, I know. Oh, God. Just the fact she still thinks she's got it. Just the fact that I still can't get over that somebody went in the toilets and put their hand at the top of her butt. Ugh. Honestly, just the thought of it. And obviously, well, that might impress Harvey in his 80s, but honestly, she still thinks that she's that young woman, that she's got it and all the rest of it. And now, so she wants a different judge now. Does she actually think that she can do a Wendi like her daughter and flutter her eyelashes and see if, she can convince a different judge? What's she going to do? She wants just to keep changing judges, and I don't know where she's going with this. I don't think it's going to happen, that. But, like I said, go to Judy's video. There's a lot of good points made on there about that, so you'll find that information there if you've not already watched it, that is. Anyway, I'm gonna get off. I'm gonna get in bed and snuggle up and watch the box, the TV. Yeah, I've not got anything else for you. So I just I just think not that we got it wrong, because we wouldn't admit that anyway, would we? But no, it's not that we've got it wrong, because they're all involved anyway. You know what I think. Even Harvey's involved. I just don't think Harvey was there at the start organising it. But I think it was run by him, and I don't think he stopped it. But I don't think very much was put Harvey's way. Anyway, if you hear all the conversations that Donna and Charlie used to have, if Harvey was on the phone, he was left on for a minute before it was like, put me over to Mum. Like, he's nobody. He's a pay packet, and that's all he is. So, but I still think he knew. And to be fair, I think he knows that he wouldn't have had much say in it neither. So they were all involved. But I just feel like now, where I always thought that I just thought that Donna went on down Charlie's ear and Charlie put the ball in motion with Magbanua. Now I'm thinking different. I'm just going to reiterate, Wendy's still in the background and has agreed to any of it, no matter who it was. None of them would have done it without her say so, and getting all the information for Dan's schedule that morning, that week. So I do think it was mainly Donna and Magbanua that did all the arranging of this. And yeah, Charlie was like the yes man, no man in between, going back and forth with the messages and things like that between Donna and Magbanua. But I think Magbanua and Donna got together quite a bit as well. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. So she just needs to open her mouth. I wish she'd see this video now and she could hear what we've got to say, or I've got to say, and that is just open your mouth. And even if you only get another year off to get home to your kids or your grandkids, do it. You've got nothing to lose. You've got everything to gain to try and spill the whole lot, because we know you know, and we know that you know that Wendi knew as well. Just spill it all. On that note, guys, I'm going to say good night, take care, come back, see you soon, bye.